Hi friends, my name is Jordan Sims and I'm going to be your instructor for Math 1046 this term at the Nova Scotia Community College. In this video, I'm going to kind of show you how to get started, navigate the technology, and hopefully we'll get you doing some math today. First things first, I want you to use a good browser. Use Google Chrome. Firefox is okay too, but Chrome is probably the best. If you're going to use a lesser browser like Safari or Internet Explorer, you're going to have problems. So don't do that, all right? Use Chrome. We're going to go to nscc.ca. This is the college homepage. And down here underneath Learning Online, we can click here and then log in. We're going to use your student ID number as your username. Precede it with a W, so W and then your student ID. And your password is going to be emailed to you from online learning if you're new to the college. If you're not new to the college, it's just going to be like your usual password. Then, once we get logged on to Brightspace, we're going to come into our course home area. If we're taking multiple courses, you can find them here. For us, we're going to kick over to Math 1046. Also, before you get started really too far in the course, it's usually a good idea to go up here to the right-hand corner and click on your profile. Here, you can upload a picture. If you're uncomfortable using a picture of yourself, feel free to put up a picture of, a pet, a sunset, something like that. Just keep it classy and fill out as much information as you feel comfortable. When you're ready, scroll to the bottom, in the left-hand corner, hit Save and Close. Also, if you want to, just below Profile, you can set up your notifications. So here, I have email selected for me, but if you want to register your mobile device, you can go ahead and get text message notifications as well. You don't need to check every box, but it's usually a good idea when I post an announcement, you should get notified, and also when I update a grade, you might want to get notified over that. Again, when you're finished making those selections, click Save in the lower left corner. So for us now, most of the course is going to be through content. So if you click Content, what I want you to do is basically, there's a lot of information here, but it's going to kind of dump you in to the table of contents. So here is the welcome section. This is the first section that we're going to see right here. And basically, I hope that you will read the course overview, the to-do list, the course outline, the work plan. Here's our schedule and our important dates, and also introduce yourself to the class through the discussion tool. Just simply click on this link. You can scroll down and start a new thread, and you can see Sean already started. Awesome. Okay, and if you want to go back to the welcome section, just follow the little breadcrumb trail in the upper left-hand corner. So once that's all done, you're pretty much done the welcome section. If you have any questions, fire them in the Q&A section. I monitor this, and so does everyone else in the class. So if you just have general questions, feel free to post them there. I check it often, and also people in your class do as well. If you have kind of more of a personal question, something that appeals or applies only to you, feel free just to send me an email, or you can message me using the tools in Brightspace up here as well. Okay, now if you've taken Math 1043 last term with me or with someone else, you're going to notice that things are a little bit different with MyMathLab. MyMathLab is part of Pearson. It's part of our textbook publisher, and it's where all your assignments and your e-text live. Okay? So underneath the next section, MyMathLab links, you're going to see a whole bunch of links here, and it's actually quite a bit of information. You don't need all of this, but basically just click on anything. The most useful one will be all assignments, but there's also a couple other cool things like your e-text is right here if you want to check that out. Some general tools for success are right there. That's pretty much it. So when you click on all assignments, go through the prompts. It's going to ask you for permission to access your privacy, and that's just between the NSCC and Pearson so that we can change your grades. Your data's not going to get sold or anything like that, and just go through and register. You will have to pay for your e-textbook. You'll have to pay for access to this. However, you can get free access for about 3 weeks. Okay, so if you need some extra time, let me know, and we could kind of work out something. I can hopefully try to help you out, get you a code or something, if money's a problem. Just reach out to me and let me know. When we're in here now, we have a refresher section. So the first 3 weeks of this course are refresher. None of this is worth any marks, so don't feel that you have to kind of complete all of this 100%, but this is like the mathematical foundation that you need to hopefully be successful this term. What I recommend you do, go through the orientation of MyMathLab if you don't know how to use it, and then do the practice assessment. Have to do this, okay? This is worth no marks, but it just gives me an idea of where you are skill-wise. Then, as you go through and do these pre-quizzes, you can see them here with the orange square, the pre-quiz questions that you get right here. So if you know how to add whole numbers, for example, when you go in to do the homework for that, those questions will already be given credit for. So you're not, if you do really well in the pre-quiz, you're going to have very little to do on the refresher, and vice versa. If you don't know a whole lot on the pre-quiz, you're going to have a lot more homework to do. But again, we have 3 weeks, so take your time. Just pick one a day and go through it. Don't stress yourselves out. But if you do want to jump in, Unit 1 is where the course starts proper right here. So if you feel comfortable with all the mathematical foundation stuff, again, feel free just to do as much or as little as you like. That's fine, but you got to do, like I said, those assessments, please. It just helps me and you see where you are skill-wise. If you're going to do some homework, by the way, and this is basically how MyMathLab works, let me just pick a question here. We're going to load it, and basically we can navigate between the different questions. So if I want to go from question 40 to 38, for example, I can just use these arrows right here. Okay, so we're just going through all this, or I could use a drop-down menu just to quickly jump around from question to question. Now, if I'm doing this question here, I have a couple of options for help. The first thing is help me solve this. This loads a dialog box where the computer literally helps me answer this. So first I'm going to evaluate the absolute value of -8. Let's call that 8. Okay, awesome. I got that part correct. Now let's continue. When I do this though, notice that I get the question wrong and it automatically loads a similar question. Sometimes it's the same one like it is here. Remember, with homework, you have unlimited tries. So you get 3 attempts before the question reloads into something different, and then you just try a new question. So if you get it wrong, I got the X here, another one got reloaded already. You could also view an example, which is a more general dialog box. It's just basically from the textbook how to solve this type of problem. That's great too, but beware, if you're running this view an example while you're working on the problem, a lot of the times people get their numbers confused, so I wouldn't recommend you do that. Check it out, see how the question works, but then close the example and solve the problem. If you want to check out a video, access your textbook, that's cool. And if you're really stuck, hit the Ask My Instructor button. This will send me an email right to this question. Tell me what's going on, how you're getting stuck if you can, and then I can do a solution for you. I often make quick YouTube videos. It's super fast. I respond very quickly. That's a great source of support for you. So let me know. Reach out definitely if you're struggling. You are not alone. I am always here to help and support you. Now again, let's just kind of do this one. Let's say 2. I'm going to get this wrong. Now you can see my first attempt I got wrong. It gives me some information. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not. It depends on how far you get on the question. I'm going to say 3 now. Oh, I still got it wrong. Let me get this wrong again. So now my third strike, we're out. I got it incorrect, but it tells us what the correct answer was. It's -1. Now again, you could just go to the next question and keep that wrong, or you can reload a similar question. Okay, so here's kind of the same deal. This is going to be -1. If I solve it, awesome. Now I got the green check mark. You can see that there. Let me go back, and it just kicks me on to the next problem. Okay, if you check out our little drop-down box, look, these are the questions I got correct. Yay for us. You can work on this or as little or as much as you want. When you're done, hit save, and that's it. That's our homework. Okay, so hopefully that's pretty usable for you. Now let me go back here for a sec. Let me just exit out of this actually. We'll go back into all assignments for a minute just to show you everything else again. So how the course properly works. We have 3 weeks for that refresher stuff. Again, jump into Unit 1 when you're ready. This is where the marks are. For all of these homeworks, every unit you're going to have homework. Then we have a pretest. And the pretest is harder than the test. The pretest has more questions, and they're of a higher difficulty level than the test. So do all the homework. Remember, you have infinite shots. You should get hundreds on all of them, really. Then try the pretest. You have 2 attempts on the pretest. I take the higher of the 2 scores. So if you make a 60, you've passed the pretest, that's great. You can move on with your life. Or you could go for a 70 or an 80. Try to step up your game. I'll always take the higher of the 2 scores. When you're ready, you can move on and take your test. Now, if you fail the pretest or you don't do really well, that's a great time to reach out to me. We can do a one-on-one Skype session, and I can kind of go over it with you, correct some misunderstandings you might have, fix you up, and get you ready for the test. In this course, look at all the tests here. Let me see if I can just sort these out. I only want to see the quizzes and tests. So look at our tests here, friends. Unit 1 is proctored, Unit 2 is proctored, and Unit 4 is proctored. Proctored tests mean you're going to have to schedule a time at the testing center at the nearest NSCC campus to you so that you can write the test. You go in, it's supervised, someone's kind of watching you do the test. It's a little bit weird the first time and a little bit stressful. That's okay. You are allowed one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You can use both sides as a cheat sheet. You can put whatever you want on that, and you're allowed a calculator, something to write with. They'll give you scrap paper. That's all cool, and you basically just log into a computer and you do the test just like any other MyMathLab assignment. When you're done, you get instant feedback on the test and you're good to go. If you fail a test, let me know, because in this course there are 5 outcomes and each test links up to an outcome. In order to pass this course, you need to pass or meet all 5 outcomes. So you could have an 80 in the course. If you fail one test, you technically haven't met that outcome. So we could give you a couple of options. You could rewrite the test. You could do some sort of alternative assessment, maybe like a project, a video, something like that, just to demonstrate that you've met that outcome. Okay, so it's not like high school where you get a 50 and you're good. You have to pass every test. You got to get a 60 on every test. And if you don't pass every test, rewrite it, or you could do some sort of alternate assignment. Just let me know. I'll be happy to provide some options for you with that. Okay? So that's pretty much where it is. There's not really going to be like any class per se here. If we go under content again, there's some, let me just pan down here to Unit 1, our actual like first unit. If you go through each one in content, it tells you what to do. There's a couple links to some other cool things, but really under the resources section, here's where we want to be. So our first homework, P1, I was just working on that. We can select that. Get rid of that. And basically, for every problem or everything in that unit, there's a video that's going to help us. So if you want to look at how to evaluate an algebraic expression, click on that. You guys get the idea. For every kind of question, it goes through, and this follows the e-text, and it follows the assignment really as well. There's also some worksheets here that'll help you. They're just general. It's just for your own practice. These are not worth marks. You don't have to hand these in whatsoever. So what I would recommend is you kind of rock through this. So if we're going to do evaluating an algebraic expression, maybe we'll fire up a video for that. That's awesome. And then when you're done, pop into MyMathLab. Okay? So the video, I don't know what's going on with that, but it should load in a sec. All right? If it doesn't, let me know. Obviously, we'll fix them. Okay? So that's kind of the play. Go through the content, get as comfortable as you want, make a few notes if you want to, or just try a few practice things, and then get into MyMathLab. That's where your marks are going to be. Okay, so I hope that makes some sense. Again, look forward to working with you guys all this term. It's going to be awesome. But what you can do right off the bat is jump into content, go through the welcome section again, and then basically post in the discussion, and then you can set up your MyMathLab. And remember, guys, go through the content, okay? You'll notice one thing here, especially if you did an online course in the past, like with me or with someone else. In the past, we have this MyMathLab right here. That's no longer valid, okay? So don't use that. We're going to get rid of this, hopefully, but it's not gone today, right? So I want that gone. Go through the content. This is where our actual course is, and this is the way we're going to do it now. All right, so if you kind of did 10-4-3 with me or someone else last term or in the past, kind of forget all that and just go through the content. That's where everything is. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, and I'll see you again.